Vodafone presents the pre-match.
It's time for our opening game here at the minor playoffs. We've got ViCi Gaming going up against North. We've got Europe going up against Asia. And as always, we've got Pimp and Blair to break this one down. And this is where the real fun begins.
Asia. I mean, I like you, Pimp.
It is literally you two versus each other at this point. But is there that Dane bias that's going to come out here, Pimp, for these North guys that have been quite underwhelming?
That's actually scary. That's actually scary. It's either going to be Dane bias or utter complete hatred from Pimp, and I'm looking forward to that, if it does happen.
I have no bias for anyone, let's be honest. I think North is a team that for a long time have been underperforming. I am all about great Counter-Strike. I'm all about acknowledging when somebody's good at the game and praising them for being so, but North have been... They've been lackluster for quite some time now. I think it's a team that I can praise. I think we all can, you know, we can all attribute to the fact that it's a team with a lot of potential as well.
Yeah.
A team that has been underperforming for too long now. I think this is about it. You know, I will put all my money that if they don't qualify for this major, this will be the last time we see this iteration of the team play together. Okay. It's simple as it is. They have to qualify for this one. Yeah. There's no bad persons in that team. There's no bad players in that regard, but it just doesn't seem to click right now. That said, though, can they qualify here, come into the major and produce a decent result? You know how things change in Counter-Strike relatively quickly. So in that regard, I wouldn't be too worried until we are at the point where they haven't qualified. So let's not discuss that yet. But I think it's safe to say that North are the favorites coming into this matchup, to this entire major qualifier here. And also, it would be a huge disappointment if they do not make it.
I completely agree with Pimp on this. Like North, we're also one of the favorites at the minor itself, the EU minor itself, right? They are a team. You look at his names here on the screen: AZ, Kirby, Cadian coming in, of course, pretty recently. Then we have Valde, Gade. How do you pronounce his name again?
Gade.
Never mind. Gade will be what we're going to be going with. But Valde, let's talk a little bit about Valde. You're talking about a player who, compared to his teammates, this guy has been just performing out of his mind. A 1.35 rating in the EU minor. The second highest in his team is Gade with 1.0. Sorry, I think it's KB with 1.05. Look at the huge gap this player has. And as an individual, I'm not just a big fan of him. I think he plays some of the best, fundamentally solid, like everything. He's got everything as a complete player, right? I really want him to go through. As just for him, just for his performance in the EU minor, but then again, like as a team, something like you said, something is missing. You look at all these names; these are players who would fit easily, comfortably into any tier 1, tier 1 top 10 team on the planet. But then you put these 5 elements together, there is a catalyst missing. What is it?
The catalyst is called Kirby and AC. Those two are guys who are currently underperforming. Those two are guys who used to be some of the best players in the world. Yeah. I remember playing with AC during my Dignitas time with him. He was arguably a top 5 rifler in the world. There was nothing you could do against him. When he went into a one-on-one duel, when he was in a 1 versus 2 scenario, you could just lay back and expect him to win, simple as it was. Those two need to step it up, especially when you look at these names that they're facing right now. ViCi Gaming is by no means a bad team, James. It's a team where you have Auman, you have Freeman, Advent, Casey, and Soking, and especially Freeman and Casey. You have to mention those two out. It is fun that you mentioned Valde, because I would argue to say that he was the best performing European player in the European minor. At least he was the most impactful. Don't know whether the stats back that up or not, but Freeman, it's the exact same with him for ViCi Gaming. I think he's been one of the most phenomenal players we've seen so far in the Asian minor. I think he has the level to go toe-to-toe against a Valde, against an AC, against an Kirby. So if I was North, I would be afraid, because this is a team that comes in with a lot of firepower, a lot of explosiveness, so to speak, and also a team where you can't really count on them. So North is a team that likes to prepare. North have been at home for a week now and been preparing for this matchup. But if you're ViCi Gaming, you have so much in stock. You have so many different sort of like iterations of yourself, so many different variables to play around with. Yeah. So it's easy to rattle out a team like North, and that's what they have to do, right? ViCi needs to come in with the firepower, the unpredictability, and just hope that that will be enough against a fundamental strong North who's currently underperforming.
Now, you've said 2 words there I want to sit on. You said about them being afraid and then them not being kind of scared of what ViCi can throw at them. For North, right, they know the pressure is on them. You represent a huge organization from your country, right? You've had the support. You haven't performed well for the longest time now. This is really where you have to show yourself. So, hey, look, an Asian team like ViCi, okay, they've got firepower, but the tactics they're lacking, the kind of actual understanding of what they're doing at times is lacking. We should just be able to overrun them.
If they go into this matchup with that mentality, I really think that we might see an upset coming in. Here's the thing with ViCi. If you just look at it from the surface level, you're like, if you look at ViCi and some of the Chinese teams, you're like, it's just like aim game, just running in, taking shots, getting headshots and whatnot. But if you look at each of the individual rounds, yes, there are certain rounds where they kind of fall apart, they don't try anything crazy, but I did see a lot of cool things coming up. There's some of the, for example, the AX good in Mirage, right? We saw elements of that in what they have, and this is the last chance. This is where you have to go all in, put everything out. And like I said, Freeman, the best player in Asian minor so far. If he and Kazi step up, and if North take it too easy, it could get very rough.
You can't underestimate ViCi, right? And when we come to this veto, this is where North should have the advantage. You've got a bigger map pool, you've got more options to choose from here. You should be able to exploit that, right?
Yeah, they should. And also looking at the maps, I was just taking a look at the maps these two teams like playing, right? I think North's obviously going to take out Cash and Overpass. I do believe so. Because Cash is obviously the permaban, and Overpass is the map that they're not that comfortable on. At the same time, it is ViCi's primary map pick, right? So you want to take those two maps out of the equation. ViCi's going to take out Nuke for sure. They don't want to play Nuke against North. And then, of course, I think Dust2 might come out here because obviously North are much better than ViCi. ViCi only played one Dust2 yesterday against Greyhound where they looked a little lackluster and they lost that particular game. So I don't think Nuke, Dust2, Cash, and Overpass are going to be played. It's going to come down to Mirage, Train, and Inferno. Train might be banned by North, and then I think ViCi will have the pick of either Mirage or Inferno. That is where I'm a little doubtful about which way they're going to go.
And that's where it gets interesting, because you can see North, they've already banned Mirage right here. So that's out of the way, so North is putting pressure on the veto process straight away, because I definitely do agree with you. The best case scenario for ViCi coming into this veto would if they could force it on a Mirage. A map that is very open, a map that allows for a lot of individual plays, a map that Freeman in particular has been looking super solid on as well. Velded, that said though, he's a great Mirage player, but I can understand why North is not willing to take that risk. They want to go into something where they can use the fundamentals, where the communication, where the rotation, where the fact that you're playing off each other and not against each other is going to be very vital. And that's, you know, the outcome of the veto so far. Nuke and Cash out of the way, again, it makes sense for both teams. And I think you're right, we're going to come down to something along the lines of Train or Inferno. And in that regard, ViCi Gaming is by no means a bad Inferno. The problem with North is that they're even better.
Okay, well, let's see which way it goes. There's the last two left in it.
It should be Inferno.
Going to go with the Inferno?
Yeah, because I think, there we go. It is going to be Inferno. I completely agree with this. This is, I expected this kind of because, let's be honest, these are both, when it comes to best of ones, it always comes out middle of the pack maps, right? Well, the problem is the middle of pack level for North is higher than middle of pack for ViCi. That's the unfortunate truth, and that's the way it will be. But coming into Inferno, this is the thing. I've seen ViCi be dominant in Inferno. I've seen them like just hyper-aggressive, completely dominating the map, so to speak, right? But then again, I've also seen them completely fall apart. Their T-side Inferno is very hit or miss. Sometimes it clicks. Sometimes Freeman just comes in zoking with his crazy sensitivity, his arm socket almost like his arm falling out of his socket, just like flicking left and right. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But when you're facing off against fundamentally solid, like rock-solid team like North, especially in a map like Inferno, on their CD side, it is going to be really, really tricky for ViCi.
It's all about the grenades, right? It's all about the utility. We're going to see North bully them with the Molotovs, with the smokes, with the nades, make sure that they can play that hyper-aggressive Counter-Strike play style, especially on the T side. So if North can do a good job, so to speak, of closing that down and making sure it's going to be a long, dragged-out game where the long rounds is being applied, where you have to wait down for the clock and wait for all the utility to disappear from the map, that's when I think ViCi Gaming is going to be having a rough time. That said, though, if you can get money control, if you can get momentum on Inferno, and if North is not allowed to build up that momentum and build up the economy to have the sets of Molotov, smokes, and grenades they need in order to do that, then I could see North being pressured. One thing I do want to mention here, one of the biggest problems, so to speak, or the biggest things I would be afraid of from North is if you go into this game being afraid to win or afraid to fail, there's a 100% chance that you're going to lose to ViCi Gaming right now. This is a team that is playing with no pressure whatsoever. 100%. They know they're the underdogs. They know they're supposed to lose, and they're going to give it their all. Whereas if you're North, as we already outlined, not qualifying would be a huge, huge disappointment once again. And I think it's safe to say as well that North have disappointed all of us enough. It has to stop now. So if they're going in here and if they're afraid to win, if they're afraid of failing out, you know, and again, you know, not representing their organization, not representing Denmark the way it should be done, it's going to be a tough game for them. They need to come in here with confidence. They need to come in here with a bulldozer mentality and just basically shut it out and just win the game as they should be.
I think the smallest way to condense that would be play to win, don't play not to lose.
And that's the thing, right? Because if you do play that way, ViCi will massively take advantage of it. We've seen it time and time again. Now, really quickly, guys, I want to discuss the very difference between these two teams in terms of the organization behind them, right? ViCi come on their own, they've got their team there, but there's so much support behind North with the coaches, the analysts, the work that's going into the background of it all. Surely this gives them an extra edge.
It's a club that's an organization that is owned by a Danish football club called FC Copenhagen, which is by far the biggest brand within football Denmark has to offer. A team that sometimes plays the Champions League, a team that is used to win everything they touch, and that's the same mentality they're trying to apply on their team. Trust me when I tell you that North is not satisfied with being the second best in Denmark. They want to be better than Astralis, but the fact of the matter is right now, they're on the brink of not even qualifying for the majors. So that would be a huge, huge disappointment were it not to happen.
I completely agree. Like Pimpus mentioned as well, if they don't make it, this is make or break for this team. If they did not qualify, this iteration of this team will not survive the next couple of days, for a fact. For ViCi, though, like I said, you have nothing to lose, right? These are a bunch of guys like, can we even make it to the playoff? Well, they made it. They've surprised a lot of people. They surprised me personally. I think Advin has done a lot of good work for this, and I think they've already overachieved. But now you're here. go for it, you know?
This is either going to be North winning big time, or it's going to be a banger where it's going to be back and forth explosive counter-strike, and I can't wait to see what the outcome will be.
Well, we are going to see it real soon. The question is, will the roar of the Lions be able to intimidate ViCi, or will they play their game and barrel out of control as we've seen so many times before? Launders and Scrawny, they're ready and waiting, and it's time to get into the game.
Absolutely, gentlemen. Thank you so much for the breakdown. I'm hyped for this one. I'm hyped for today. We've got the third place team from each minor and 2 spots at the major in and of itself. You know, I was so distracted by the Americas minor as we were casting throughout that I kind of, you know, didn't really put stake in today. But I can now not wait to sink my teeth into this. Inferno as well. Interesting map, Vito. And it all boils down to just one best of one to begin it.
Yeah, I don't know how Inferno's going to go. From this tournament, we've seen them both have bad results on Inferno. North lost to both ViCi, or lost to both Vitality and ENCE. And ViCi lost to Greyhound. And all 3 of those maps was, I think, a 16-8 or 16-7. So maybe this could be a lot closer than people anticipate. And just as Pimp set up, you know, there's so much pressure on North just to be with the expectation that they're not only going to make the major, but that they're one day going to be better than a team like Astralis. All of that must be weighing down on them, whereas ViCi have already punched well above their weight. So I am so hyped to see how this is going to go down. Even our next best of one between Envy and Windstrike, it feels like in a best of one situation, who knows who's going to win that. So there's a lot of parity in the top 4, and it makes sense that these are all the third place teams. Right. North are probably the favorites out of the 4, but still aren't going to be handed a free win.
You said it to me off the books, and I can't help but agree. I think that with the 2 best of ones deciding who gets that first spot at the major itself, it's literally open for any of the 4 competitors here today, folks. So for the final day, let's do this. It's IEM Katowice 2019 Minors. It's ViCi and North already here on Inferno, and it's aggression to get the game started. Kierby, he's going to fall down towards Banana. Zoking as well, catching the head of AZ. Only Gade to respond. It's kind of North using that bomb to push up into the apps, and that buys time for Cadian from behind. He's going to have the flank, and he just taps into Alman. How many times in a moment like that do you see him whiff a shot or two? Not him particular, but those sorts of plays. Nice for him to get that 3v3 instantly. Creates all these questions as to when he's coming back, where he's going. Did he have bomb? They didn't even see him.
That was a beautiful angle from Gade. So now they'll have information, and they know that the one was spotted at bottom mid. They don't know that it's a double pit setup, however, as we saw. No, Kaze, how is he going to deal with this? They, again, both have these really tight off angles. Zoking might be able to cut off Cadian at the pass, and will go ahead and spot him at the end of Halls. Could have been an easy duel for Cadian, but now their progress is set back a bit. Strange rotation out of the site. Kaze, can he go huge? No, Gade takes him down. And Zoking at least wins his duel, but it's 1v2 now, and the bomb will finally get planted.
We still have that player deep inside of pit. That's Valda. Kevlar, full HP, and there you have it, folks. It's North with the first pistol. Cadian doing a good job of cutting down that first player, creating the question marks, but ViCi, I have to say, didn't seem panicked in that 2 versus 3 situation, and had we seen the Apartments player maybe be able to pinch the bomb site with Kaze behind boxes, then it's a whole other world. You know, that pit player is not able to push the bomb site and plant until they deal with him, and if Cadian hadn't at least slowed it down, then maybe it's ViCi with the win, but they're going to buy regardless. We've got a Mag 7 in the mix.
They went ahead and subverted the offense, and although it was a good confidence play from ViCi, it was an even better play from Cadian to be so patient at the bottom of mid. We're now into the anti-eco or anti-force buy, and North are clearing out halls. Not sure if they're expectant of a buy. It's going to be less obvious since ViCi are on the CT side that they pull this one off. But there's a 4-player stack on the A site, and that means a North Halls pop might not go as planned.
Eagle trying to hit that first one, offset the crosshair. Cadian flying around this bomb site at the moment. Even gets an assist with Gade, so those pistols do tumble. They fall, only Alman up on the rotation. That's the beauty of those apps blasts, when there's nobody actually on short to hold back the first player flying forward like that. You know, Cadian just kind of disrupted it without having to kill anybody, and then went ahead and killed them.
North looked to hit shots early on into this match. Alman will have his 5-7 and full utility belts. Is probably too valuable to want to give up here. They'll not have a buy next round, so recycling this will be extremely favorable. North will win this round with a bomb down, 4 up, and move into round 3 with another free farm round. They're going to be happy to see that they killed a lot of players who had head armor and only lost a single player. They're probably going to upgrade into another SMG, I would imagine, or just get that third AK, assuming it's going to be an easy round, and then just push KRB and AZ into as many kills as possible. ViCi, on the other hand, they did pick a good site to stack. It was the correct read, but the setup was exploited. Funnily enough, the flash didn't do anything to our man in pit, and it seemed like North weren't even aware that they had their own teammate coming out lane, so there was a chance for them to potentially lose that round. But everything fell into place, and it's just good to see North are hitting shots. I think that's just going to be the main difference with these two teams. We saw Valda on high confidence on Mirage, went 40 and 13, which is just not a once-in-a-lifetime performance, but maybe like a twice or 3 times in a lifetime performance.
Yeah. Maybe once in a major cycle performance.
Right. Another A stack as North creep right into it. It's a little bit different though, as there's 2 players at lane. They'll be activated off of this 1 pistol.
Yeah. Substantial damage though. That's 4 players, 4 North down. Freeman follows suit with another headshot, and he's got his paws on an AK.
Don't give this boy an AK.
Oh, he's going to be able to wrap around as well. Cadian does seem to be thinking about the possibility. They're going to notice that the gun has been picked up. It's disappeared into the night. It is Freeman with a 4K. Amin pinches those last boiler players. 2 survivors on it. It all begins with USPs.
Absolutely insane play from Freeman to pick up that AK to get 2 more kills, get Hall's control, do it so elegantly as well. I mean, and there was a great flash to set him up, so he had such a big advantage in this first fight. AZ came out for the trade, but it was no good. Cadian's mouse wheel might have bugged there, jumping up onto the halls, or maybe he was just trying to get over top of the balcony and got caught off, but either way, the positioning from Freeman was king. That's going to be huge for their confidence coming into this round. Not expecting to lose. Not expecting to win with just USPs. Double nade down banana is great. Kirby goes down immediately. AZ jocks for position. And he's caught up at the logs. I don't know if they're going to expect him here, but it looks like they're freely peeking. Almond didn't even bother upgrading past his MP5. Not scared of this team.
They're not going to opt to push past the top of banana either. Just hold off. Smoke in hand, plenty of utility still for ViCi. There is some on the side of North as well, so maybe they bait out the counter utility before they make this hit. I'd say that because bomb hasn't been picked back up yet, but Valda is coming. Gonna buy their time using the boost during this window of opportunity, and yes, just like that, it's AZ to catch Amin. Now, it all falls on Advent, tagged up earlier on as well. He's gonna be able to pick 1 player up, flash high, and probably call for that reinforcement.
4 on 3, and CT spawn is wide open. They don't have a smoke to cross. That means the bomb is in a very difficult position. The Molly's going to be a cheap way to try to deny vision, but they're still going to have the opportunity to catch it. Valda is stuck out here and doesn't know if he's being flanked. Freeman is also locking down the A site, so the hasty rotation back is completely deniable.
AZ sees Shadow. That's going to call more players over. Now Valda could still find some timing. Zoking scoped in, but down he goes. Now that cover most certainly there. Advent, remember, low HP, hits the player in the back of the site, but can't win the duel right away. 3 frags for AZ, creating that space needed. You could see Valda contemplating the rotation back to the A site, but he didn't have the time to do it, didn't have the information, and yet maybe North still have this round. Molotov on Valda, low HP AZ. He sits back behind box, and this creates a space for Freeman to walk forward. He's playing this so smooth. Sees the headshot, predicts it, and it's Freeman with both.
Oh my God.
Tied up straight out the gate.
Valda gets caught off because there is a blind spot at quad. He cannot hold construction safely, and I can't believe Freeman does it again. He goes for the 4 kills to the 1v2. You had to blame Kaze for giving that one up because he pushed in before the bomb was planted with the op and then got killed, allowing the bomb to cross, which should have never been possible. AZ, as we saw, capitalizing on that, and then it seemed like everything was just falling apart. Almond even fluffing a shot, but Freeman, dude, what a hero.
That's big. And you know what? An extra little bit of props to Advent because he had 15 health when he lost his first teammate on Oranges, still gets the kill on the entry, and then before he dies, tags up AZ enough to be just swept away by a spray. Definitely helping out his teammates in those situations.
You can only sustain so many of those losses. Every single one that goes the way of ViCi is going to count for so much more than one that goes the way of North, because they're going to be the ones you'd expect to pull off rounds like that, not lose rounds like that. Almond pressured in the CT spawn. He's gonna go ahead and throw a nade at the incorrect time, but he gets the 1D at the price of, well, he gets 1D and gets 150 damage off his nade, so I'd call that value. Advent doesn't realize that Kirby had pushed over towards oranges. And the bomb will be planted out in the middle of the site with no control of construction. They weren't expecting that fast of a rotate, but they could have planted safely at Grill.
Now they ask themselves, how do we get back in control of that bomb? Obviously, prying eyes on it, so patience. They're just going to sit and hope that heads present themselves to the Deagles. Cadian's got the cover. Soaking just on the other side, blasted away. Now the top ropes is where Freeman stands, and damage both ways by Cadian. Valiant effort, nice attempt, but it's ViCi Gaming's round.
You have to wonder what the bomb was being, why the bomb was being planted back fountain when they had a smoke on CT spawn. So technically they could have planted anywhere front site, even oranges, and been safe from construction. And with CT smoke, they know that that was covered. But look at that, he just goes down and there's nobody here to fight back. Cadian was in the pit, so even if they thought there was a big flank through Banana, at least it was covered. Maybe just like a big fundamental error there. I don't know how else to characterize that. Kirby's going to be hurt inside of this Molotov. Will try to push through, and Almond right-clicks a grenade at his feet. And he goes down like a bowling pin. AZ hurting at the lower ramp, and
damn,
they go ahead and catch him, trying to catch them.
Yo, I mean, when we came into this game, Bled was talking about how we saw sometimes this just sheer aggression from ViCi on Inferno, how they can actually take control of maps, and we think to ourselves, maybe that's just in a domestic type environment, but ViCi Gaming have been really hyped on hitting that banana early, using those grenades fantastically so far. It's certainly enabled the spray downs, which has collected 2 kills here.
I think a big reason why the agency has got so much attention is because when they go to international competition, they still have no inhibitions when it comes to that aggression. They're always pushing. They're always doing something. It's just that when it goes over the limit, or when they do it versus each other, when they could be a bit more patient, is when we're often critical. But in this situation, it feels like North are just mostly flubbing on their setups as opposed to ViCi, who are basically playing standard. Good Inferno, as you're saying, pushing up when they need to. Another situation, a player coming through with smoke. It is a 3v5 situation, so it is more warranted than if it was all numbers for the Ts and CTs.
Cadian spotted, caught, drops bomb into the feet of the Opper. Valda, though. It's Valda. And he's got himself 2 already. Amen. Lower health, not as low as Valda. 2 HP, 2 enemies to take, in 10 seconds to do so. I think not. That right there is another round for ViCi. Had to see some kind of heroic play come out of the 3 remaining members of North, seeing as they did go down to a 3v5 just based on banana control.
North being adamant about taking banana shows us how important it is to them, and ViCi showing us how the round can begin and end with those kills. Going ahead and snagging both early in the round. Leaving a key player near the end to try to come back into it and clutch, but it's too late at that point. Not enough damage was done by Valda's teammates. Good nade to threaten the position of Zoking. Doesn't exactly sit on it, but it is North on just pistols. They're going to half buy into this round, move towards halls. ViCi have a relatively passive setup, but they're probably expectant of this exact buy. They know that North are capable of a halls pop. They were open to it in the past, but it was an anti-eco that time. The tables have turned.
Yet the Molotov still dropped. Frag misses the mark. Got grenades back the other way. This is North's execution. It's all in other than AZ. Freeman falls. Now, that's an M4 given over. That's a big M4 for Valda. Head armor on top of it. But they don't know Zoking is here, so he's going to stay tucked away. Gate plays around the corner, loses his face for it. There's the Opper dropping bomb, but still Valda's in pin. I mean, we knew that was the problem the moment he picked up his gun. It's the biggest issue, but there are still other variables here for ViCi to figure out. Where has North got off to? You know that M4's in the pit. You know the bomb is planted. There's a 3rd player yet to be found, and that's Cadian inside of the apps. He waits very patiently back, actually next to balcony. So as he walks back downwards, he's given 2 backs, but oh, Advent turns around, reads him, and Kirby can't do anything. He gets the dink off Almond, but it's 3 up for ViCi on a retake. No further casualties is great for them.
His internal timing alarm just went off at that moment, and he decided to turn around. It might have been to dodge a flash that went towards Pit, and it could have been unfortunate timing for Cadian, but ultimately it comes down to the 2 players in sight to make that more competitive. With the amount of utility ViCi had, the last player being in halls wouldn't have been that big of a threat, and they couldn't deliver. Now they did just have pistols, so this is an ultra successful round, getting the bomb plant, getting the kills that they did. But ultimately, it's rounds that are the biggest problem. Again, a best of 1 to decide who goes on to the winner's bracket and who has the easiest route to the major in this 3rd place decider tournament. Now we're into round 8. North is going to call attack timeout, the first of the half. They've got a full buyout. It's not got any ops. We've seen them be quite a pest on Banana, but ViCi don't seem scared of them there. They've in fact come out ahead in duels very often. I think ultimately, if there is a fight there, it's going to be the T's who will want it eventually, so you can anticipate that they'll try it again. They've got enough nades to go for it. They've got HEs to cause a disturbance or do some early damage to make the trades a bit easier at the top of Banana. 3 CTs coming out, and all the T's running headfirst into this. Molly's on either side, and they've got to be worried. 2 of them will turn tail and run. Cadian does take a spot of damage. And Molotov isn't good quite yet. They do their due diligence to make sure that ViCi don't get overly aggressive, which is a good sign for North. They also retain logs control, and eventually we'll find out. That car is clear. Is he more concerned with some big flank than anything else? Arch smoke comes out, and North get top bracket control. A lot of map control gain for them. ViCi Gaming are being quite liberal with their grenades, but they go ahead and reclaim top bracket. Rotate might come out to be here. Should make this a difficult round for North. But at the moment, it's still a 2-3. Zoking, he's about to peek mid, and look at that. He's trailing his way down for the flank.
Yeah, they are going to go
ahead. The aggression we look for.
At the very least, ViCi should be prepared on this B bomb site. Advent playing counter flash. Kaze, he's nailed 3 players to the cross, and 2 of which through and through. Advent spray nearly nails Gate as well, but no, he is still up. 1 versus 5. We need a replay on that Opper because he does it alone there, Launders. We saw the counter flash being played by the CT cross, but by the time he's unblind, there's already 3 terrorists dead.
We still have to look for ViCi to play T side, but so far on CT side look absolutely magical. They played this round to perfection. North did a great job of shying them off on utility. Kaze has amazing impact. I feel like even the first kill is the most important, just to slow things down, allow for that repeat. ViCi, minimal losses. They regained map control. They played the rotations to perfection. They called out North immediately after they left A, so they had full information right away. And they look sharper than ever. They look sharper than ever right now. Once again, ViCi will go ahead and toss their usual nades down Banana. No T's this time to stop them. Smoke about halfway down. It's a standard default out for North. The thing what ViCi are doing are forcing them to make even faster decisions. Even though they go ahead and clear out bracket, by the time they're down Banana, ViCi have already reclaimed mid, calling out exactly when they would leave. Ultimately, when the CTs come down to take bracket, they wouldn't mind seeing a player. If the flash catches them off guard, they get a kill, great. But if they see an empty bracket, that's even more information. And that's information that North don't get anything from.
Well, here we go again. ViCi trying to get at least the info, not even willing to stick around. Probably reading into the fact that the T's were still near. Zoking tumbles. Kaze into the back of the site, loses Freeman just next to him. But Kaze, it's unbeknownst to them until Gade catches him jumping up on the box. They're 4-5v2 North. I have to say, seems to me like a nice adjustment. You wait for ViCi to go for that brackets clear, just like they did in the previous round, but off of the sound cues of the utility, you swarm them.
That was great.
Catch them moving forward. Zoking barely got back to the bomb site.
Yeah, they create the honeypot at top mid and make it seem like they've taken control of it, but don't peek with any players. And as soon as they hear that counter flash from ViCi, go ahead and reclaim it themselves. That's what netted them that kill. A player running back to site gets killed on his way in, and that leaves an op in an awkward situation. They also had great chain flashes as they came up lane, and that's a well-earned round from North to pull things back. ViCi now have to figure out what to do about that situation, as that has been a key element to them being able to win their default, how they've been reclaiming top bracket. Need sets out for North. ViCi's money is still fantastic, so it's not going to hurt them too much. Let's see, that player running back and blind and Gade going ahead with the entries, actually grabbing all three there. Not an easy task to do. Running up lane and getting kills versus a full buy with an op and 2 rifles. So, what is ViCi's response? It's going to be late banana control potentially for North. Early op kill from Kaze, the man who has appeared at every choke point.
Right, so instead of letting North get close to the brackets and even playing that whole flashbang scenario a second or third time, no, they go for the deep pick. And even despite Cadian's op being positioned on ramp, no counter frag. It's going to leave North to move in. Man, disadvantage doubled upon. Kaze falls back. Nobody can catch him. Bomb has been left in the dirt as well, so Kierby's going to wrap around Arch looking for some sort of opening. But Zoking off angle here. Oh my god, doesn't even matter. Kierby's going to find him, anticipate rotators, and he'd be right in doing so. Kaze steps into it, takes damage, but also now nabs himself a 3rd frag. The op on ViCi Gaming has been the difference maker on the B holds, on the A hits. But Almond's down and Cadian's left to clutch.
He's not got any health left over. He's got the bomb, but no grenades to assist. And yeah, Kaze's already made his way back to B. Just in case it's some kind of play here. Fantastic round from Kaze once again. Instrumental when holding B, and as we saw, knows what to do on the other side of the map as well. It's so hard to work those op picks, and Kaze knows that he's got to get in between flashes, in between smokes, be aggressive at awkward timings. Found that opening kill at Arch that was so critical, and although he moves on to have more impact, gets the most important one nice and early.
We've seen North when they go down into 4v5s trying to, chase after it, looking to activate right thereafter, not giving their, not giving away a lull in the action. It's for that reason we saw Kierby try to make big plays, wrapped Arch. I have to say he did just blow away Zoking. Anticipated the position mid-sight.
Yeah, that's the #1 spot that you hold Arch from, because you're like safe from lane. So Kierby happy to go ahead and duel that. And you saw maybe Kierby goes ahead and kills Library too, but Kaze lucks out. Maybe the crosshair placement not exactly perfect. You have to give it to the op, obviously, to win that 9 times out of 10. Molotov to assist Kaze in pushing down for the alt pick. This is something fresh. He can only hold this for so long, obviously, and it seems like they're going to be concerned about his position. So it gets flashed off. But with gimmicky plays like that, you also have to have a fallback plan. That's not enough information to base an entire round off of. So reclaiming lane might be the MO. Again, it might be trying to reclaim banana, but see, after that, they fall back full passive. Could be a good round for North. Could be a good nade. Oof, not bad at all. Cadian's low. There's 2 and B. Again, yeah. I'd say significant advantage to North. Aubin's been killed in the spot before. Double boost if you remember at the top of banana.
When he does die, had to be Advent.
This is crazy. There's no arch control. Literally, North could walk. Oh my goodness. I was gonna say they could just walk up, but Kaze had line of sight on mid. Didn't even spot that. And the 5v4 just brings it right back.
Yep. They're going to go to where they had that initial map control, hit up the top of banana.
Oh, they've got a Molotov in front of the smoke as well.
Got to make sure it's down in time. There you go, 2 Ts run through, and the spray down's fantastic from the 2 counter-terrorists still holding this site. Valda going to try and pummel his way forward, but another flash holds them back. The supporting grenades and presence of ViCi is strong. 10 seconds left over, huge HP advantage as well, and North are about to get swept from the board. Cadian and Valda find nothing further, and ViCi have a 5-round lead.
Like many teams at this minor so far, ViCi also look to grow stronger every map. They are starting to find their footing here. Look fantastic here on the CT side. We've seen a lot of really weak Inferno at this minor, and this is some of the best. And it's also legitimized by the fact that they're playing against North, who want to play this, who are very comfortable on it. You gotta hand it to ViCi. They look extraordinary at the moment. Those counter flashes in those last few moments were perfectly spaced out to delay for just enough time that North could not easily swarm quad and take their time and get the bomb down. And it looks like a pseudo eco here as North probably going to talk to each other and try to figure out what the hell is going on.
When you need to express your emotions, you just start a mosh pit. You know, everybody swings it out. By the time you've left spawn.
Yeah, let's get some player cams.
Yeah, we're back into it.
One flash to maybe rush up Banana. Fortunately for ViCi, they've not got an op, so they'll be even more strengthened in this regard. But not peeking anything, so there's still a threat that the rotations will be hampered.
Flash hits his mark, sure enough, but Advent's gonna clear it all down. One player survives, Gade with an AK. Aim punch, not gonna give him a second, so solid hold from Advent.
We're about to round off this half.
Yep.
9-3 at the moment. And ViCi look like they're not slowing down. The one thing that North has done well has netted them an entire round, which was reclaiming top bracket after a flash had been thrown. But Kaze came in as an individual to replace a tactic. When you need to get back map control in Inferno, it's sometimes combinations of nades and double peaks. But because he's been so good with his op and being crafty at finding kills, he's getting in between these smokes at timings that North can't really like go back and talk about, oh, we gotta wait a second there. Oh, we don't know if he's gonna be around this corner.
Gotta say as well, not only just throwing himself in between flashbangs, but also every once in a while just trying a variation on a pick. You know, we saw him get one down T-ramp initially. We saw that kind of lingering towards alt mid. This time peeked out from balcony, so just the small details, the small attempts, and the small chances. Freeman gonna let players trickle out from the apps. KRB killed Valda. That's a TK that you do not want to happen in the 13th round of Inferno now, but Gade sprays away, catches Kaze.
It's actually a big shot missed by him. 3v4. Bomb's in an awful spot, however. They got to go through halls to get it.
Yeah, someone's going to double back. Or not. They're just going to trudge along, charge forward into Freeman. AZ is now just slipped past into the little pit. Has some time to wait, but it's an inevitability. Freeman wants them all. He now the third player for ViCi above double digits, and they themselves, the team, have 2 numbers to the board. It's 10 rounds over 3.
Just crazy, crazy stuff. I mean, obviously that trade is super unfortunate for North, but they probably would have both got decimated by Freeman in that position. And even though Kaze fluffs an easy shot, it just allows him to shine. And he has already had a number of rounds to himself. Almond somehow leading in terms of ADR so far in this map, but it's definitely been a team effort.
Big push now, North, stinking of desperation. Just gonna try to hammer this one home. Lots of bodies lining up, and Advent just sprays away 3. Come on! They can't even get into this bomb site until eventually they do. But at what point, at what state? They've been wrapped upon. Kaze's omnipresent throughout this entire half, it seems. Valda tries he might, has at least grabbed an op of his own. Firing off the first shot, being swarmed, being rushed down, and being disrespected. ViCi Gaming want this 12-3 half.
One more opportunity to dig themselves out of a very deep pit. You know, 12-3 half is very different from an 11-4 half. North have had an abysmal T side, but another map where I'd say it's one team who are making the other one look so much worse. So many good things to say about ViCi's T side. And there is still a question mark about ViCi's T side, but they've given themselves so much wiggle room, and they could luck this game out at this point. With maybe just a pistol, Kaze gonna go ahead and get aggressive at mid, beg some grenades out of the T's. Molotov's about to come up, and he'll have to turn his attention back to top mid. Eventually he falls, and this was one of the rounds where last time he tried this, he had to go. He went back to Boiler. and got his first kill there. Is this going to be a similar situation? He's spotting from Arch this time. And it looks like we've not got maybe another Halls pop on the books as the T's congregate up alt into Halls and leave a couple back at mid.
We did see them successfully do this with pistols. That was when Valda was able to rock it with the M4 in pit, but the smokes hit, and so does North. They've fallen off already, completely blanketed in cover here, but it is temporary and sometimes transparent. Display very clear to ViCi Gaming. Gonna smoke himself off in sight. Freeman asking for help from Kaze. Flash could enable the peek through, and that's gonna cost them. They know Freeman's off here somewhere. He just needs teammates to come help them, and there's 30 seconds left, so if somebody gets too close, he could fight back on his own, but he is now very much on his own. North getting down into the pit with numbers, keeping Freeman desperate and stranded. Valda the last frag. North have 4 at least, but we're gonna give them a break, folks. A couple of minutes in between the halves. You're not gonna wanna miss this second one. The Great Danes on shaky legs, no longer looking so tall. Launders, ViCi, and I've got to say Kaze most notably, really seemed to wobble them straight out of the gates on that CT side.
North CT side should be good. It should be scary for ViCi, and yeah, just a terrifying prospect, but if ViCi get a pistol, we might not even be able to see a North T side, and that was what the first half resulted in. North CT side, excuse me. It'll be an uphill climb either way, but definitely eyes peeled on this pistol round to see if North can grant themselves some easy rounds at least to make this scoreline competitive, because this can get out of hand real quick, and Valda looks to be just that. He has gotten 2 nice frags, and they've got so much information, escorting Kirby into alt. Look at this. Oh, I mean, I'm not even sure that information is all that good. They know that they were in alt. Kill would have been worth something. He's also got a big opportunity to go ham here.
If they don't slow down at all, they could hit this B site still with numbers. If they wait, then Kirby's going to catch the tail end of this. It's the utility player, and he's tapping, but he missed his shots. They know. They know they've been flanked already. Now we've got 2 kills for them on the bomb site. Kirby's let all of this happen. The timing not playing into his hand. He had one chance to snap back the head from behind. Now Cadian's going to have to come join him through Banana. All the terrorists pinned into the back of the site, sure enough, but they've got cover. They've got cover, and they're playing versus time. We have no kit for North at the moment. They're going to try to pinch this from separate directions, and Kierby starts it off strong, but both the counter-terrorists now tagged. They need swift headshots. Kierby's got at least one more. Come on. Oh, can't put it away. It's Advent from the back box, and ViCi with a pistol.
Advent happy to take that fight. 18-7 so far in this half, and what a travesty from Kierby. We all know how hard it is to hit a guy in the back of the head running, but man, under these circumstances, that just got to hurt so bad. That could have been the beginning and end of the round, and yeah, just as I said, like, he knew that they were in ult, but they already knew that. It was so key that he was able to get a kill. The big flank almost became a better version of that play, but missing the shots that he did. Oh man, that stings. ViCi up to 12 now, 4 away from just taking the map. And again, you're going to see more force buys, more reckless decisions, more pressure mounting as North see themselves losing because they're so close to it. ViCi, on the other hand, are not going to be too concerned about a force buy. Have bought up 3 SMGs, UMPs to be exact. Inferior MAC-10s in my opinion, but to each his own. Flash is kind of bunked, doesn't push Cadian off his angle. Freeman peeks right into it. They're going to know. It's a confirmed force buy.
With one player tagged. Surefire shot. North. Block off A between the bomb site and pit itself. How are you feeling about Heavy App's presence? Seeing as it is a full T side versus 2 CTs on North.
That's a gamble, yeah. North had that Cadian rotate around, get info at mid, throw the smoke down at bracket, but then ultimately they leave. Gade, could he go huge here? Flash is really good, and it's just enough to get him killed.
Advent doesn't delay at all, flies right out of it. Now Valda, great dink on the second player, but not enough damage. Not enough damage to lock this off. Kaze already not worried about the bomb site, but rather the rotations. He catches Kierby immediately, and that'll keep the scout on Cadian, but
you could see all the pieces falling into place
right
for the eco round to, or the force up to be victorious, but man, Cadian's little bit of damage wasn't enough, and his smoke wasn't enough to scare ViCi into making an uninformed rotate back to B.
Thing was, too, I really like the timing from ViCi. Once that smoke was thrown out by North, Valda trying to help out Gade by putting it in his face. But the flash was immediate from ViCi, and Advent, you know, that was a risky run out. His opponent blind up close, still with an advantage having that CZ ready, but just enough of a disruption to take the kill, and maybe Almond gets this?
Wow.
Yeah, no scout.
Yeah, no scout. Scout's scary to have to go up against on the force ups, and they won't be buying another one this round. North are probably going to save one and then just buy up and try to win out from 14-4. But here's a round where ViCi can just make a ton of money, and this would be crazy for the bracket if North end up in lowers. The prospect of going up against either Envy or a win strike, but more importantly, having to have the hardest route to getting out of this third place qualifier, not winning the best of one versus a team they were heavily favored against. Stack up on the eco round. It's funny how this angle can sometimes be an off angle, and at least with the head stack, get the double peek off and get some damage in. 3 players confirmed spotted though as ViCi start to make their way back to A. AZ makes this interesting, however. And then Almond answers right back, recollecting a gun and protecting the other one. They can go anywhere, and they've done significant damage to B, so wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, they might run back into it, and North are actually going to read this incorrectly and exit from the site. How confident will they be in the gamble, though? Even if they see nades, they're just going to think it could be a fake from ViCi, so it'll be hard to get them to move from this position.
Back, ViCi double back. A little uncertainty here for
Freeman, though. If he collects his info fast enough, yeah, they'll just go back to him. Yeah, they just led with him as a scout. He gets, and Almond gets a kill on A. And now they won't even have to fight one person in the site.
Nicely done. I like the ViCi, you know, they're not willing to go off of something until they're what seems like surefire. 3 rotations in that round. Back and forth. Until they felt out the defense, found presence, and avoided it as fast as they could. Almond's going to hear the footsteps around him.
Yeah, he's here to deny and make this next round even harder and also make a little bit more money.
Damn.
2 simple kills. 1 player left at mid. Kadian knows where he was, but now can't get the drop on him. He falls into underpass. And Kadian goes ahead and recovers an 8K potentially. They'll definitely want to find him. They know that he's dropped in a pit potentially. Yeah, if Freeman can go ahead and catch his fallback. And there's a small chance, and now he's on the run.
Run, Kadian, run.
Catch me if you can, he says. And he stops to take the duel.
They're still just going to run in on this. Pre-fires it, and yeah, a couple seconds too long. Poor Kadian. Try as he might.
Pack timeout call. They got to dig deep, man. They've got to go so deep at the moment.
This is wild.
They got to dig deep or they'll end up 6 feet under. Stuck there. That is a tough way to start the day. Wouldn't be surprised if North still managed a few rounds, but with no room for mistakes. I mean, how could you ever anticipate they actually pull this back? Second tag pause called. Got a couple of AUGs. Kadian primary opping. ViCi only have 4 guns in hand, so don't know if there is an op dropped for Kaze. He's been a superstar. Freeman's been a superstar. Advin's been a superstar.
Advin's the one that's kind of taken me by most surprise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just seems what a shining light in some of these moments. You know, big plays, whether that be the highlight clips or just the most important frags, that B hold where he damaged up a bunch of players and enabled ViCi's first bits of momentum to really take piece. He's thrown himself into really risky situations as well, having to be that front runner out of apartments at times. So just showing his depth and his abilities. Great grenades coming back from North. We attract the attention to Advent, and, well, he attracts the fragmentations.
Or sit back and wait. Although Advent's low, with so much time left on the clock, I mean, this information could be used in a multitude of ways. Smoke out to spools, and if you're a CT in this spot with no mid control, you have no choice but to be worried about this. They're also going to see the smoke in CT. They'll counter with a smoke of their own, and they also get some damage off on Freeman, which could count for something. But it's ViCi to turn their attention back to A. They've left the bomb, so that doesn't mean that they're going to commit. It's going to be interesting to see what North's reaction is. Good on Kadian to take heed at this moment. Oh, look at this, two people in B. There's not the extra man. And they're rotating halfway out. Kirby will come back for the late smoke. This could be good.
Timing's there. Timing most certainly there. Now the body's starting to come over too. Kadian catches that A lurk. Oh, Molotov could be costly. Oh,
wow.
Especially when Kirby just rails Kaze through it. 15 seconds. They're going to go for the save.
Yeah, they got a save. Nice round from North. They did a good job of like delaying all their utility. Kadian, you know, coming back to mid to reclaim top brackets, what we like to see. Gets his op kill as well, and gets a tag on, I think it was either Amin or Kaze, but maybe that alerted them to the fact that it was going to be a B play, depending on where they anticipated the 1 in the 4-1 to be. And yeah, they pull it off passively, but it's all because ViCi don't do a good enough job of baiting out grenades. But it's not that ViCi didn't try, so it's just very smart from North. They threw a spool smoke, a CT smoke, flash over, and North didn't overreact. They didn't drop their Molotov. They saved it for late, and that was kind of the key piece of the puzzle. If that Molotov didn't come down, they might have gone in between the smoke with 15 seconds left and left it to AZ to try to go supernova and get those entries. Nade to bottom mid, and another round where a little bit of early damage is dealt to the T's. Kaze being low is huge.
Looks like they're just going to go into a set piece, though. Maybe not necessarily playing around the map as much, and rather attempting to get that bomb down.
Could take it to lane. I don't know if Kaze's pushing this. So all the rotates are coming through CT. They would definitely like to go lane in this situation, but they don't know it.
It would be made easy. Only Gade would have to hold it for North. Kadian going to take mollies to the feet, has to eject out, smoke down towards Arch. This buys even more time for the potential hit. Look at the way Gade hides in the back of A, and look at the way ViCi head into the opposite side of the map. They're hitting this B bomb site. AZ's just going to put down the smoke. Won't be able to throw another molly, but that's fine. 2 kills and the dink.
The bomb gets recollected. Valda had a small chance to stop it. Plank comes out. It's good for Banana. He'll have to try to fall back. couple players low. Nade to default is no good as he makes his way back to Emo. Smoke down on Banana could change things up, but they've got to move quickly off of this. What a tap from Valda.
And then a follow-up from Gade.
Not enough time to throw this molly early.
Molly's on it. It's not necessarily going to hit the mark either. They've got players stampeding forward. Plenty of time for North. Wow, ViCi kind of hit the emergency button, eject into that B site, and had it not been for our boy AZ lining up a couple players, nearly taking a third, then I'd say that goes from bad to worse for North. But good defense off his back.
He went huge. He went huge with that spray down. So much damage dealt. You thought this was the kill that would change things up. Retaining arch control with only one player, just to make it seem like it could still be A, that could have locked it down even harder. North win that by the skin of their teeth. Very close round. Well played, though. It is going to be a game where a lot of individual plays will have to bail them out when they make mistakes. And ViCi shot themselves in the foot there by not going lane, but they expected Arch to be light because they're anticipating maybe a 3 banana setup like we're seeing here. Thing was that North only had one player on that right side, and they once again flashed through the smoke for fast back control. They're anticipating this again.
Yeah, this time
they're faster though.
Much faster on the hit. And Valda, well, he doesn't hit his target. Gade back boxes again. He's gonna hold this off with a 3K spray down. Kaze jumping in, pops his head 2v2, and the bomb's back in the corner. North not buying any time, not cutting it down to the wire, but already in position to hit. AZ has to wait slightly for Cadian to get through the apps, but does Almond wrap back and clear him?
Did he hear it? Yeah, he might be able to flank Cadian, who's going to take his time walking.
So Kaze just needs to stay alive.
Oh, that's a round 1.
There you go. Does AZ still try to hammer this home? Bomb's halfway gone.
He can YOLO it.
He's going to run forward off of the flash. No peek yet from Pit. There it is. Blindsiding him through the side of the skull. It's ViCi gaming to 15 rounds. And North still stagnant on 6.
They took a huge risk running through that mid smoke, but completely called out North setup that it was going to be a 3B once again. Oh, that was so nuts. And that what an attempt at that sight hold from Gade. Got blood dancing by the desk. Bringing honor to the Asian minor as ViCi get the 15th round, potentially winning this first map.
Damn,
Could
9 map points.
2 Asian teams at the major.
Thing is as well, before, I mean, you said it. You said it off the record that anybody could go through today. And I was thinking to myself, 2 best of 1s, like if that plays into ViCi's favor, then all right, you know, I would put some stock in what you said. And now, well, we've got a real life image of it. 15 to 6.
You would expect ViCi would be like maybe the #1 team to just blow it, and everyone was like, they could have played good, but yeah, not surprised they didn't. So for them to just be suddenly taking over the #1 seed in everyone's mind is crazy.
Think of how
makes it even more difficult to figure out who's going to get the 2nd spot.
How tantalizing it would be for ViCi. You win this round, you're a single best of 3 versus either Windstrike or Envy away from making a major.
They've completely called out North setup here on the T side. I also had questions. I thought this was going to be a long game, even with that 2nd pistol, but they've done good on these last 2 T rounds. Again, North winning one of them by the skin of their teeth, and then completely getting owned. Apart from Gade's 3K on the site, they pretty much got stomped and called out and overrun. Once again, ViCi will turn their attention to the A site as North are in a very passive setup. Pretty decent guns for the whole double pit setup. Could be good versus the Halls pop, but we'll see how it plays out. Well, they haven't actually made their way out. Was there smoke that went that way?
Didn't see it if it did.
Ooh. Interesting time to jump.
Good frag grenade as well. Freeman's gonna lose near half his health. His teammates are gone. Cadian's actually falling off the B side as the smokes come parading over. What's the setup? AZ boosted. Opts to fall off it.
The flash was too good, and he fluffs the spray. Zoking comes out with the entry. It's 4-4.
Cadian's gonna wrap back around the coffins. Takes a couple shots, so it's been spotted. The bomb plant's theirs. This is a retake for North. Map is on the line. Good job by Cadian to at least catch a kill.
No nades.
Nothing for the retake, not even a kit, and Cadian's also glass cannon.
Oh, look at this angle from Advent. Is that going to be successful? Is that counted an off angle? Are they going to be clearing something else? Do they peek this? No, it looks like not.
There's the duel, though. Both players coming in off of the barbecue. It's a wrap back, and the frags go the way of North. They've got it. The retake's theirs. They're fine for at least another round.
Wow, they pull that back. And it was though that even though North had no nades, they had man advantage, and ViCi had no grenades as well. A smoke or a Molotov could have made a huge difference there, and they set up in a pretty decent spots. But the trades were too good for North, coming out 2 ahead. Not a lot of money to buy back. They recover the op. They'll try once again. Funny part about this round is I guess the kill from Kaze pulls Valde all the way back and makes it difficult and more stressful for AZ, who's left as a solo man there. But if he had come back too, ViCi, it would have been just the 2 people that were there at the beginning of the round. And ViCi could have had a really good go of it. Doing a pretty good job of staying kind of unpredictable in that sense. But they have expelled a lot of utility in these attempts.
They've had so many variations on their A hits. You know, we've seen them just toy with it, rotate around. Woo. Okay, Cadian. Let's see it. He's going to have more bodies trickling in. Swap it to the sidearm won't keep him alive, but maybe Kierby can seek vengeance. He's going to be able to find these T's. Heads turned. Easy pickings. Bombs dropped on top of it. So North are going to be fine here.
Key frags on the board. Op is recovered though. Oh, and Freeman, he can re-peek into this. That nade, that might be too good. However, he's pushed in front of the fire. CT gives him a fight, but the cycle takes too long and he can't go ahead and take the shot off. Good round from Kierby to pick up the pieces. Cadian got pushed back fast. ViCi constantly calling out top brackets by pushing really early into the round. Just totally skipping banana control. Just not playing the game that North want them to play. Not enough time to react even. Attack called for ViCi. And it makes a lot of sense. They could potentially save another round. Half buy on this one. Go for an off if they like to. A lot of the rounds are so mobile though. I wonder if they'll even worry about letting Kaze work it out in a default. It doesn't seem like they want to play that game. If this goes the distance, however, you'd anticipate ViCi, you're not going to be able to easily win it with these gimmicks. Resting on map point though. Just hearing that every single round as you're North. It's terrifying.
Not just for, 2, not for 3, not 5, 7 consecutive rounds. North are going to have that in the back of their minds. Best of ones can be brutal. ViCi Gaming tenderizing North for the moment. They are going to charge to the top of Banana. There's what they had not been doing at all. They've just torn straight through it. I mean, North's down into the 2v4. They can't or shouldn't be able to stop that bomb. A damn near one-man show. Added 26 frags at this point. The Asian third-place team now has North.
Oh my God.
By the scruff of the neck. The CT's trying to fall off the position. They just wanted to throw out some utility, and now they're not even going to get this chance. Gates down for the count. It's Freeman's flank to finalize this upset. ViCi Gaming over North to begin what's going to be a brutal day of Counter-Strike.
So nasty. They didn't even sweat, man, and they just kept it simple on T-side. Rushed every single round almost. A couple of those being good reads there. It was just good flashes. Should not have been able to come through that smoke. And North are left scratching their heads. They lost the game that they should have definitely won.
Hot damn, folks. They are not eliminated yet. They do still have some chances, but North are the first to fall to the best of 3 in the lower bracket. And it's the best of 1 for ViCi versus the winner of NACIS. Let's hand this back to the man on the desk. It's James Banks with his kids in the candy shop, and I'm not talking about Blez Height.
Well, the roar of North was nothing compared to what ViCi threw at them, fragging galore in a game that many would have expected to be an opposite turnaround in scores. And Blair, let's start with you. You must be feeling pretty good right now.
I mean, it's to a point where I don't even know what to say. I think ViCi Gaming played one hell of a game here. I think they were playing way above expectations, as we've seen before throughout the Asian Minor. I think they're doing good. I think Freeman and Casey, they just don't stop delivering, you know, and this time around, Advent as well, being the in-game leader, top fragging throughout the game, not something you can really take into account if you're North. So, again, ViCi Gaming playing some of the best brand of Counter-Strike we've seen come out from them, whereas for North, I'm lost for words. It's getting to a point where it's simply not okay. It's not okay to be that professional. It's not okay to have that much potential and not live it out by any means of any imagination. AC, once again, I hate, you know, pointing out players, but this is a dude that was rated as one of the best riflers in the entire world 2 years ago. This is a dude that played for Face Gaming. He was picked up on this superstar Face Gaming team, expected to do the same thing he was doing in Dignitas. Didn't really deliver. Then he came back to North, and there was high expectations again. Didn't really deliver now. It's becoming a problem, and it's becoming a common problem. We have Kirby, a MVP major, MVP champion, not showing up at all against a team from Asia who is roughly the third best team from this year's from the Asian Minor. It's simply not good enough if you're North. At this point, they have to step it up. I can't help to feel that I can't really put a finger on what it is they're doing wrong. Obviously not hitting enough shots, not really playing too confident enough, but the fact of the matter is I feel that they're getting inside their own head. They're overthinking the situations. They need to find some passion. They need to find some groove. They need to find a rhythm and just play Counter-Strike to the level we know they can play at. Right now, they're overthinking everything, and it's hurting them a lot.
All right, well, the pieces of the puzzle for North certainly aren't there, and this is worrying times for them. But we have Advent from ViCi ready to give us an interview, and let's just see some insight into that craziness. He's down with Jason Kaplan.
Thank you very much, Banks. And yes, I just want to start off with guns blazing here. So first of all, Advent, what the hell was that? 11-4 first half? How did you guys prepare coming into this match up against North?
我们上半场的比分是11-4，然后我们准备了什么针对 North？
其实我们基本上就没有对 North 做任何准备，但是因为时间太仓促嘛，我们就打出我们自己的体系。然后对 North 的话，其实有一点基本的了解，因为大概知道他们是个怎么样风格的队伍。
So we don't have much time to prepare against the North. So basically we just play our own construction and style. And that is.
Okay, and then last question, since you guys obviously want to prepare for your next match. Wendigo or Envy, who do you feel more confident playing?
对于 Envy 跟 ViCi 你更有哪个信心？哪个更有信心打？
自我更有信心是吧 ？Envy 吧。
I guess should be Envy.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations on the victory, and we'll see you guys again very, very shortly. Banks, back to you on the desk.
Thank you, Jason. See, ViCi not getting ahead of themselves there, right? Still thinking very positively, but they're aware that this is not over just yet. But best of ones certainly suit them, and now they'll be going up against the winner between the CIS and America's region.
As much as North failed in this matchup, I want to give props to ViCi Gaming for one thing. Yeah. Advent, here's the thing. He's usually the deadweight in the team when it comes to fragging ability, right? But he's the in-game leader, and he was the lowest rated player in his team in the Asian Minor, and here he fragged out of his mind, some very good decision-making, and like you said, I wanted him to kind of throw the curveball, trying to be very disruptive in the way they played the game. The first round, CD Pistol, what did they do? They rushed on mid. Yes, they lose a round. That's fine. How did they close out the map? How did they close out the game, rather? They freaking rush banana, running it through the flames, through the smokes, gets all the kills, get the bomb done easy, right? So they played exactly the way they needed to play to be disruptive, and like I completely agree with you, Pim, North didn't seem like they were ever in the game. They're playing not to lose rather than trying to get control of the matchup. And so, yeah, the better team won in this particular matchup.
There's no doubt about that. ViCi Gaming playing one of the best games we've seen them play so far, whereas for North, as you said, and as I said before, they need to stop playing not to lose. Like they need to play to win. They need to shake that off them and just come in here. It is players that is, you know, rated as some of the best in the world when they're on fire. Yep. This is a tournament North should be able to progress from. Even the fact that they're going down in lower bracket now, they still should be able to go through. But, I mean, we've been disappointed enough by North to sort of like, I lose faith at this point, you know. I just want to see them relive the potential. If not, then figure something out and go make a new team. Because at this point, it's not good enough.
Yeah, that certainly isn't good enough for a team like North. And I think we could have a podcast on this, right, to discuss the whole thing. But we don't have enough time for that. North, it's a scary situation for them. ViCi march on, but we are going to be going to a break, and when we come back, it's time to see Winstrike go up against Envy.